What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing another experiment video on Madden 22, and today we're going to see what would happen if every single player released their top 5 players. It'd be very interesting to see where everyone goes, and I wonder if multiple teams may sign more than 5 players, and who ends up winning or losing in this situation, because obviously not every team is technically at a loss here, because there's some teams that their best 5 isn't even as good as someone's number 1, you know. So if, you know, like the Jets signed, you know, Patrick Mahomes, that would obviously be a massive win versus the 5 they lost, like Mekhi Becton and all that. We'll quickly glance at all the teams to see who we lost. Of course, maybe you won't agree with every single player. I'm going to try to remember who every single player was, but I'm already forgetting. I think the Bears was... I think Fields is still here. Yeah, Fields is still here. I didn't consider one of their top 5 players technically. I think it was Roquan, Allen Robinson, Mack, Eddie Jackson, and David Montgomery for the Bengals. We had Burrow, Mixon, I think Boyd. We went with... Did we keep Jonah Williams on this roster? I may have... No, Jonah Williams is still there. We ended up getting rid of... I can't remember who. Awuzie might still be here, even though he's actually not that bad. I can't remember every single one of the players from each team. You know, this one was, you know, Diggs and all those guys, Josh Allen, and there's a lot of different names, but we're going to kind of glance through them. Maybe you guys will see a name that you guys are like, really? Like Odell might already be one of the names you would have thought that I would have put on the list. Here, you know, it was between, you know, instead of Vita Vea, maybe you could have put Barrett or something. I don't know, but overall, I feel like I chose the best names overall for each team. Maybe the Chargers instead of... was it Eckler? You could have put Mike Williams, maybe one of the offensive linemen. We didn't go just based on overall, because obviously if we did that, then there'd be a lot of quarterbacks that are really underrated in Madden that just wouldn't be released when they should. The Colts were kind of a debate as well for some of their positions. The Cowboys, maybe you're like, hey, Gallup, or not Gallup, but Lamb is way better than Tyron Smith. He's actually overrated now. I don't know. But obviously, just quick glancing... The Falcons, I think we did, yeah. We got rid of Matt Ryan for football team instead of Kendall Fuller. It could have been, you know, or it could have been Kendall Fuller instead of Sheriff. I always mix up Marpin and Sheriff. I don't know what it is. I always mix those up. The Niners, just kind of going over really quickly. Giants fans are like, hey, relax, pal. You didn't show us the guy. But yeah, some of the teams do have their quarterbacks. Like I said, I think Zach Wilson, Justin Fields. This one was a debate. Instead of Derek Carr, maybe you could have went Max Crosby or something. But I still like what we did there. Ravens, obviously Justin Tucker was on the list. For the Saints, we had a few linemen, I believe. Went with Demario Davis over Cameron Jordan. I feel like Demario's just been so consistently god tier at a position that isn't like super common to be great at. And yeah, that's pretty much that. First things first, I want to go into week 2 and see how many of these players are actually gone. And then second thing we can do is maybe get you guys to leave a like and subscribe. Am I right? Yeah, no, okay. Tom Brady's still there. Really? Dalvin Cook's still there. Keenan Allen, Saquon. There's a lot of really good players here, although you can see... For the most part, they are all signed, so we'll try to do a couple more weeks, and hopefully by then everyone will be signed up. Tom Brady still being there is kind of exposing the game, but, you know, it is what it is. Saquon, Casey Hayward, Cooks, Eckler, Boyd, Brown, and once again, I think that's it. Hopefully by, like, week 5, they should all be, like, signed up. I'm surprised, though, that they aren't all, like taken, right? Like, you would think that there's, like, the Falcons would take, like, all of these players. We're down to just 2, Eckler and Boyd, and they are officially all gone. So now the sim can continue. We can go all the way to the end of the season, and then we'll definitely at that point take a look at see where everyone went. It's better than, you know, going now and then looking at all the stats anyways. The Vikings missed the playoffs at 6-11. I don't know if that actually shows or proves anything, though. Jameis Winston, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey, Chubb, Hunt, Deshaun Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae, Aaron Donald. So some of the names, Aaron Donald with 26 sacks, which is insane. Let's first things first take a look at the standings, see how much it changed because of where people went. The Bears are the best team in the league. I would God, I hope the Bears took Mahomes. Please, Chicago. Please have taken the Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs, Cowboys, Bills, Eagles. Okay, Eagles and Colts. Interesting team names. Texans, interesting. Buccaneers at 8 and 9. Obviously, they lost debatably the most, right? Like they lost some very high overalls. Technically, right? Like their backup situation's worse as well. Let's take a look at these stats and awards now. See who, took everybody. So Kirk Cousins stayed the starting quarterback of the Vikings. Obviously, they have a lot of money in him. What else do we have? So rushing, no replacement. Wide receivers, Westbrook and Thielen. Okay, so as far as the Vikings go, they got kind of cucked. But let's take a look. So Winston was still the quarterback. Lamar Jackson became a Chief. Baker Mayfield went to the Chargers. Mullins kind of killed it for the Buccaneers. Trevor Lawrence, we didn't release him. Of course, he wasn't technically one of the top 5s in my opinion. It's a close call. I mean, he's not off to the greatest start. But Matt Ryan as a Seahawk. Colin Kaepernick is not even in the NFL. Russell Wilson is a Cowboy. Aaron Rodgers to the Bengals. Mac Jones to the Packers. I considered him one of the top 5s just because he's playing really well. I don't know, dude. Maybe that was a little bit of a reach. Of course, Fields stayed. Kyler Murray on the Bills stayed. To the Texans. Oh, no, he did not stay. I considered him one of the top 5s, and he went back to the Rams. Tom Brady on the Panthers. Tannehill over to the Cardinals. Dak to the Lions. Derek Carr released, but still returned to the Raiders. I was wondering if we were going to see a team do that, and that's where they went. Josh Allen to the Falcons. Joe Burrow to the Ravens, the division rival. And Watson to the Titans. Mahomes to the Patriots. Herbert to the Browns, and that appears to be it. Rushing, Christian McCaffrey went to the Colts, crushed it. Chubb to the Chargers. Ezekiel Elliott did not get released. Joe Mixon to the Panthers, so they got Brady and Mixon. It was Brady, right? I believe it was Brady. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure. Derrick Henry to the Raiders. Not a bad scheme fit, I guess. Kamara over to the Giants. Jacobs to the Packers. Taylor to the Titans. That's not a bad scheme fit once again. Dalvin Cook to the Eagles. Jones to the Saints. Jones kind of like a mini Kamara, so not the worst play for them. Devin Singletary. James Robinson released back onto the Jaguars. Interesting. David Montgomery to the Bengals. Saquon to the rival team. Interesting. So let's take a look at receiving. Deshaun Jackson just stayed on top of the world. Not released or anything like that. Same with CeeDee Lamb. I don't think we released him. Devontae to the Saints. Remember when everyone thought Michael Thomas was the best receiver in the league? Well, at least they actually have the best receiver in the league. And he actually plays football games, so that's pretty cool for them. Julio Jones to the Chargers. DJ Moore to the Falcons. Demarcus Robinson obviously already there. Seahawks get Hopkins. Joe Mixon once again to the Panthers. Crushing it with that whole Christian McCaffrey scheme thing. Mike Evans goes to the Packers. So the Packers don't, they lose in the Devontae Adams situation, but they don't lose that badly, right? Like they still get someone very solid in replacement. A lot of these guys are kind of similar teams. Kupp to Washington, Terry McLaurin to the Bills, and we're just going to kind of skip through here now. A lot of these names are, kind of Gesicki back to the Dolphins, interesting. Fuller to the Saints. But yeah, we're, going on and on and on about it. Offensive line, who gives a damn? Honestly, like who cares? Who asked? Aaron Donald, nice. Joey Bosa, nice. DeForest Buckner, the Dolphins finally get a DT. It's been a while. TJ Watt returns to the Steelers. Vaughn to the Chargers, division rival. Chase Young to the Niners, kind of similar. I can't really say that they lost. Zedarius didn't get released. Chandler Jones went back to the Cardinals. Mack to the Colts. They finally get an edge rusher. Myles Garrett back to the Browns. Fletcher Cox to the Bears. The Bears won. They got freaking Joey Bosa and Fletcher Cox. Not bad. D Ford. Was he released? I think D Ford just in general they released him. I don't think I touched D Ford. Like he would have been way down on the list, and I don't consider him that great. Maybe in Sim, but fair enough. Okay. Let's take a look at picks. Denzel Ward went to Jacksonville. What else? Anyone else? Jalen Johnson. I think I did release Jalen Johnson because he's actually playing really well in real life, but he went back to the Bears. Yeah, not going to see any crazy names here. Yeah, they're just kind of similar. Kicking, where's Tucker, he was the only kicker to go. Did he resign? Tucker is a Charger. Let's take a look at MVP. Did any of the new team players get one? And they did. Russell Wilson, the MVP of the league, as a Cowboy. Joe Burrow, Aaron Donald, so the Ravens kind of went off. Rookies didn't change. It's very hard to be a rookie and a top 5 player on your team unless you play for the Falcons or Jets. Justin Herbert for the Browns. McCaffrey, Robinson, for some reason, is just really good in sim lately. Quentin Nelson obviously got released, but he rejoined this team. Aaron Donald, obviously. TJ Watt rejoined his team. Denzel Ward, same. NFC side, take a look at Offensive Player of the Year. Russell Wilson, of course, with the MVP in general. Joey Bosa, really good play. The Bears definitely won in this one. They definitely won. And the Cowboys actually got Trent Williams. So they got an offensive lineman, a good one back at least. And let's go to the Super Bowl, see who wins. Let's see it all. The Soup or Bowl. Is it a different team? Like, the Cowboys are looking pretty primed here, right? Cowboys, Chiefs still, but they did get Lamar Jackson. So in fairness, they didn't really... they lost, but they could have been a lot worse for them, obviously. And the winner of it is still the Chiefs. It doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter how the rosters are changed. The Chiefs are just going to win the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at how the playoffs actually played out. So in the wild card round, and the Browns and the Chargers, fair enough teams. Colts, don't see it happening in real life. Texans, don't see it happening in real life. The Eagles, definitely not in real life. Panthers, maybe. Niners, probably. Washington. So nothing really crazy there. Philadelphia going on to the championship round, though. Dallas versus Philly. Chiefs versus the Colts. And then Dallas loses to the Chiefs. So, interesting. A lot of players did return to their original teams, but a lot of guys did kind of move around, as you would expect. But I will say, the standings didn't change that much. I know it's only 5 players, which is still big, right? Like, that's like a fourth of the team. And if you counted a quarterback, there's positions where the quarterback obviously counts for way more than one player because of how important they are. But yeah, outside of the Bears maybe, and the Eagles and Colts, it was kind of the same anyways. The Chiefs still balled out. Obviously, they got Lamar anyways. Cowboys, they obviously got Russell, but a lot of the same kind of teams still went off. Was there any shocking teams that didn't get even close? Like the Cardinals, I suppose, at 6-11. What else? The Rams at 6-11. Titans at 7-10. They're kind of really trash in real life right now. Their defense is maybe the worst in football, which is, I don't know how they did that, but cool. Saints are kind of lower than expected. Seahawks 7-10. Verdict's still out. Yeah, things changed a little bit, but wasn't that crazy? I thought it was going to be absolutely nutso mode, and it kind of wasn't. It just kind of wasn't. The teams, they all kind of smartened up. So I suppose the main thing for this that people care about are the quarterbacks. So let's take a look real quick. See who got an upgrade and who got a downgrade at quarterback. So starting with the Bears, they made no change at quarterback. Rodgers, the Bengals obviously got a better one. The Bills, kind of about the same. And I wouldn't say similar style players, but guys that kind of like to do similar things. Broncos didn't improve. The Browns, once again, about same. Buccaneers absolutely lost. Cardinals definitely lost, but not the worst thing in the world. Chargers, once again, same with the Browns. Very similar. Didn't really lose, didn't really win. Lamar Jackson, the Chiefs are just flying and handing off freaking $250 million, $500 million offers. Lamar Jackson gets one. So about, not the same, but about the same. Colts didn't improve. Cowboys slightly improved. Dolphins, Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't even a part of this thing, really, but he's still there. And as far as Tua getting injured all the time, that's an improvement, I suppose. Kaepernick really doesn't count. Josh Allen, it's an improvement considering Matt Ryan's, kind of washed at this point. Washington doesn't change. Niners don't change. They actually win because they get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. No change to the Giants, no change to the Jaguars, no change to the Jets. The Lions obviously improve. Packers downgrade quite a bit. But Mac Jones goes a superstar, so they at least have a longer future ahead of them. The Panthers improve. The Patriots improve by a mile. Derek Carr, the same for the Raiders. They downgrade for the Rams by a lot because they lost those first-round picks, and they still end up with the same quarterback. The Ravens downgrade, but they still have a decent future there. Same for the Saints. Seahawks, huge L. Steelers are just a walking L. The Texans kind of improve if you count real life, because obviously Watson doesn't seem like he's going to play another snap there. They get Stafford. The Titans kind of improve. Now they improve by a lot because he would probably be willing to play there, obviously. And then the Vikings don't change. So, like I said, there's a lot of teams that kind of stayed the same. A lot of teams stayed the same. and if they improved, it wasn't like by a huge margin outside of a few. But overall, that is going to be the experiment. Let me know what you guys thought. I thought it was pretty good. You know, we've done one in the past where it's like they release all their quarterbacks, they release like 1 or 3 of their best players, but 5 is pretty significant. If we did 10, that'd be really interesting to see if, you know, assuming players, you know, didn't go with the good teams anyways, how different it would look. Because 10 players, that's, you can't argue that your team's going to be quite different at that rate unless they, you know, re-sign. But that's, I suppose, pretty much going to be it. If you guys have any ideas for experiments you want to see in the future, maybe like a draft experiment, kind of similar to one we would do with the quarterbacks, where it's, you know, what's the fastest you can get there? Maybe it's like, what's the tallest receiver you can get? Whatever it may be, let me know in the comment section below. Once again, if you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PK Plays, twitch.tv/Jeromepkr, and let me know in the comment section below if there was a player that should have been released because he's actually a top 5 for their team, but we didn't. Let me know in the comment section below. I'll always be looking. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video, but until next video, see ya!